Hey guys, today we are going to talk about Poisson distribution, which is a discrete probability distribution. We have already discussed about discrete and continuous in the previous video, so if you haven't seen it, please check it out. Named after French mathematician Denis Poisson, is a discrete probability distribution that expresses the probability of a given number of events occurring in a fixed interval of time or space if these events occur with a known constant mean rate. So what this means is that if we know that an event is occurring lambda times in an interval, we can predict any number of times that event might occur in that specified interval, assuming that these three conditions are satisfied. So I am taking an example that we refer throughout this video to understand Poisson distribution. Suppose I work in a call center. On an average, I receive 10 calls per hour, and I am interested in knowing what are the probabilities of receiving, say, 7, 12, 15, or 20 calls per hour. Here, this is this is the Poisson mass function, where p of x is probability function, which gives us the probability that x times event are occurring in a specified interval. I am saying interval because it can be time, area, volume, distance, or length. So here the lambda is the expected number of occurrences. So here the lambda is the expected number of occurrences, or in our example it is 10 calls per hour, and the x is the discrete variable which can take value of any whole number. That means that it has a lower bound 0 but does not have a upper bound. There is a relationship between binomial and Poisson. Binomial tends to Poisson distribution when n tends to infinity and p tends to 0, where n is the number of samples or trials and p is the probability of success, which results into np is equal to constant. For example, if we were looking at the incidence of a rare disease where only 1 in 10,000 people are affected, in such a situation, it is difficult and tedious to estimate expected probabilities from the binomial distribution. We will solve this example as a problem later in the video. So, so here I make a distinction between Poisson and binomial. First is the distribution representation. For Poisson it is P of lambda or P of mu, and for binomial it is B of n comma p. Second is the discrete variable, which is defined as the number of events that occur per interval for Poisson, and for binomial it is defined as the total number of successes out of n trials. Third one is the mean, which is np for both of them, and the fourth one is variance. For Poisson it is np, same like the mean, and for binomial it is npq, where q is the probability of success. So there are some common fields or examples where Poisson processes are used, like customer calling a help center, visitor to a website, radioactive decay in atoms, photon arriving at a space telescope. So there are few there are few assumptions that we consider before applying Poisson distribution. First two are same like in binomial, that is the events are independent and two events cannot occur at the same time. And the third one, the rate at which the events occur is constant. So what this means is that lambda value is fixed for every specified interval. Or we can say that the probability that lambda times events are occurring in a specified interval is the highest. We will see this in the graph section. So before moving into the graphs, let's refresh some probability distribution terminologies. Probability distribution is a function which lists all the possible outcomes a random variable can take along with its corresponding probability of occurrence. So there are three functions. First is probability mass function, which is for discrete random variables, and the second one is probability distribution function, which is for continuous random variable. One thing to note while handling a continuous distribution is that on PDF graph, the probability of single outcome is always zero. This happened because the single point represents the line which does not cover the area under the curve. So this is a general formula for calculating area under the curve. And the third one is the CDF, which is cumulative distribution function, which is applicable for both. We will understand it in the graph. So let's move to the graph section. So here I created a class Poisson graphs, which has three methods. The first method, Poisson func, returns a rounded value of Poisson mass function. The second method gives us a graph with different lambda values like 5, 10, 15, 50 and 90. Third and the third method gives us two graphs. The first one is a simple PMF graph and the second one is the cumulative density function graph. So let's run the program and observe the graphs. We can see different graphs with different lambda values. For example, this Poisson graph has a lambda value of 5, this graph has a lambda value of 10, and this graph has a lambda value of 15, and this has a lambda value of 50. So the first thing that we can infer just by seeing these graphs is that if the lambda value is small, the graph is right skewed, and if the lambda value is big enough, see that the first graph is the simple Poisson graph, which is the probability mass function graph, and the second is the CDF graph. The red curve in the second graph is same as the red curve in the first graph, but it is scaled down due to the range of the y-axis. CDF is a distribution function of x where we find the probability of x when it takes a value less or equal to small x. So to understand the CDF graph, let's go back to the call center example where on average I receive 10 calls per hour, and uh, suppose that I wanted to know what is the probability of getting at most 8 calls, that I can get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 calls per hour, but not more than 8. So, uh, so I can write this like probability of getting 0 call per hour plus probability of getting 1 call per hour plus probability of getting 2 calls per hour, and so on till 8. So graphically we can express this like the height of the bar at 0 plus the height of the bar at 1 plus the height of the bar at 2 plus the height of the bar at 3 and till 8. So to get the sum of the bars, so to get the sum of the heights of the bars from 0 to 8, we we use the CDF graph. So here we just have to measure the height of the bar at 8, which gives us the desired probability. So let's take a second scenario where I want to know what is the probability of getting at least 8 calls per hour. So here I can get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and so on calls per hour. So so again let's visualize it. So again let's express this in the graph. So here the height of the bar at 8 plus the height of the bar at 9 plus the height of the bar at 10 plus the height of the bar at 11 and so on. But we know that there is no upper bound for Poisson distribution, so it becomes impossible to find the resultant sum. But we know that the sum of the probabilities of all elements is 1. So to get the desired probability, first we have to measure the sum of the heights from 0 to 7 and then subtract it from 1 to get the probability of getting at least 8 calls. So to get the sum of the height of the bars till 7, we have to again come to the CDF and only measure the height of the bar at 7 and then subtract it from 1 to get the desired probability. So let's do some questions. First, components are packed in boxes of 20. The probability of a component being defective is 0.1. What is the probability of a box containing two defective components? So let's first do it by binomial. So here the number of samples, which is n, is equal to 20 and the probability of success is 0.1. In this case I meant the success is to find a defective component and the discrete variable is equal to 2. The probability of failure, which is q, is 1 minus p, which is 0.9. So after putting the values in the binomial formula, which is ncx p power x q power n minus x, we get the result 0.2851797. So let's also do it by Poisson, where we first have to find the value of lambda, which is np, 20 into 0.1, which gives us 2, and after putting the values we get the result 0.27067005. We can see there is a significant difference between the results. This is because this question is not made for or meant for Poisson, because here the n is small and p is large. So let's do a question which has large n and small p. So here suppose there is a rare disease that affects 2 in 50,000 people. What is the probability that 3 persons have that disease out of 2000 sample? So let's first do it by binomial. So here the number of samples is 2000 and the probability of success is 2 by 50,000, which gives us 1 by 25,000. In this case I meant success to find a person which has disease and the discrete variable is 3. So after putting the values in the binomial formula we get this result, and for Poisson we have to find the value of lambda, which is n into p. So after putting the values we can see that both the results are approximately equal. One may ask, how do we know when to apply Poisson or binomial? So first, we should only apply binomial or Poisson after considering their respective assumptions. And this point is meant for any distribution, whether it is discrete or continuous. Every distribution has some assumptions. Second point, for Poisson, we have to have large n and small p, which we have already witnessed in this problem. So you may ask, why did we even apply or solve this problem with ozone when we get the same result with binomial? So to answer this, the Poisson formula is relatively easy to solve when n is large and p is small than binomial formula. And second point, sometimes we don't know n and p values, and the only thing we may know is the mean. So for example, suppose in this problem, instead of n and p values, I gave you lambda. So the only way to solve the only way to solve this problem is by Poisson.